Welcome back to Who Died Today. Over the past few days, the world has bid farewell to some truly beloved and unforgettable stars. In today's episode, we pay heartfelt tribute to these remarkable lives and the legacies they've left behind. Before we begin, we kindly ask for a moment of support. If any of these stories have moved you or reminded you of someone special, please give this video a thumbs up to honor their memory. Thank you. Number 5. Ernest Borgnine, the Oscar winner who broke our hearts when he left us. He won an Oscar, survived World War II, and made generations of kids laugh as Mermaid Man. This is Ernest Borgnine, the man who never gave up, never stopped acting, and never let fame change who he was. But what happened in his final days will absolutely break your heart. If Ernest ever made you smile, please hit the like button to honor this legendary soul. Born January 24, 1917, in Connecticut to humble Italian immigrants, Ernest served 10 proud years in the U.S. Navy. Lost after the war, it was his mother who changed everything. "You have such a beautiful voice. Why don't you try acting?" In 1953, Ernest Borgnine shocked audiences as the brutal fatso in From Here to Eternity. Just 2 years later, he won the Best Actor Oscar for Marty, beating legends like Sinatra and James Dean. In 1962, he brought laughs in McHale's Navy, and by 1999, he was inspiring a new generation as Mermaid Man in SpongeBob SquarePants. His marriage to Ethel Merman lasted just 32 days. The heartbreak was public, but he never let bitterness dim his light. He once said, "The trick isn't becoming someone else. It's finding the truth in what's written." On July 8, 2012, at age 95, Ernest passed away at Cedars-Sinai. He was still working, still dreaming, still signed to voice SpongeBob. A fan wrote, "He proved that heroes come in every shape, every age." Thank you, Ernie. In a world chasing perfection, Ernest Borgnine simply chose to be real. Tell us in the comments, what role made you believe in him? Like, subscribe, and help us honor a man who never stopped believing in us. Thank you, Ernest, for proving it's never too late to shine. Number 4. Virginia Madsen, the strength beneath the silence. Breaking news. Today, we look back on the astonishing journey of Virginia Madsen. She was a vision of grace, a voice of emotion, a presence that never had to shout to be remembered. For decades, she appeared on our screens, captivating, mysterious, unforgettable. But behind her beauty was a woman who quietly endured pain, rejection, and loss, all while never letting the world see her break. Now, as she steps away from the spotlight once again, we're left asking, where is Virginia Madsen? And perhaps more importantly, how did she survive it all? This is not just a story about an actress. It's about resilience, reinvention, and the quiet courage of a woman who never stopped believing in her voice, even when Hollywood didn't. Virginia Gail Madsen was born on September 11, 1961, in Chicago, Illinois. Her father, Cal, was a firefighter. Her mother, Elaine, a poet and filmmaker. Her brother, Michael Madsen, a Hollywood legend in his own right. Virginia was raised in a home that valued art, truth, and survival. After her parents divorced, life became scattered, emotionally and geographically. But her mother noticed something rare in her daughter and enrolled her in acting classes at just 18. It was there that Virginia's spark became fire. In 1984, she was cast in Dune as Princess Irulan, a debut that made audiences stop and look. Then came Fire with Fire, 1986, where she played Lisa, a Catholic schoolgirl in love with a prisoner. The low-budget film became a cult favorite, and Virginia's soft strength made her unforgettable. But it wasn't until Sideways, 2004, that the world truly saw what she could do. As Maya, she delivered a performance of rare vulnerability and earned an Academy Award nomination. Critics called her performance the heart of the film. Behind the applause was a woman fighting battles most never saw. She faced abuse early in her career. She navigated a difficult divorce. She raised her son, Jack, largely as a single mother. When asked how she got through it, Virginia once said, "If someone scared me, I'd think, 'You're not ruining my life. I still win.'" That's the quiet resilience she carried, not with rage, but with grace. In later years, Virginia turned to producing. Alongside Carly Miola, she co-founded Title IX Productions, focusing on women-centered stories, especially about aging with dignity. Their documentary, I Know a Woman Like That, told stories of women between 64 and 94, extraordinary, everyday women. Directed by her mother, Elaine, the film was a love letter to real, aging beauty. It was Virginia's mission to tell stories Hollywood often ignored. Though she hasn't had many lead roles in recent years, Virginia never left. She simply stepped out of the noise. No scandals, no bitter goodbyes, just silence. Her recent interviews show a woman at peace, reflective, but still unsure of what comes next. She listens to solfeggio frequencies to calm her mind. She studies lines in her car. She says it best. "I call it the exhaustion of a job well loved." Virginia Madsen is still with us, still creating, still healing. But even if she never steps on another set, her legacy is already written. She proved that strength doesn't have to be loud, that aging is not disappearance, and that truth is more powerful than fame. So today, we don't say goodbye. We say thank you to a woman who never chased celebrity, but gave us something deeper. Virginia, thank you for showing us that silence can be powerful, that softness can be brave, that survival is its own kind of art. What's your favorite Virginia Madsen role? Tell us in the comments below. Like this video to honor her story. Subscribe so we can keep sharing legacies that deserve to be remembered. Because legends don't always leave loud. Sometimes they whisper their way into history. Number 3. Clem Burke, the beat that drove a generation. The music world has lost another heartbeat. Clem Burke, the driving force behind Blondie's unmistakable rhythm, has passed away. More than a drummer, he was the pulse of punk, the heartbeat of rebellion. If his music ever moved you, give this video a like to honor a man whose rhythm shaped a generation. Clement Anthony Bojewski, born November 24, 1954, in Bayonne, New Jersey, found his calling early behind a drum kit. Raised in a modest home, Clem's love for music took him from garage bands to world stages. He wasn't just talented, he was tireless, humble, focused, and quietly brilliant. His wife Ellen, a pediatric nurse, stood by him through it all. Clem joined Blondie in 1975. Their rise was meteoric. Hits like Heart of Glass and Call Me made them global icons. Clem's wild energy on the drums became their secret weapon. Through the 80s, he drummed for the Eurythmics, appeared at the Free Nelson Mandela concert, and played with legends like Bob Dylan, Joan Jett, and the Ramones. In 2006, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Blondie, a testament to the rhythm that defined an era. Even in later years, Clem never stopped. He played with Nancy Sinatra, Slinky Vagabond, and more, proving his beat never faded. The drums aren't just an instrument, they're a way of feeling everything louder, deeper, truer, Clem once said. He fought cancer quietly but fiercely, showing up for his craft until the end. Debbie Harry called him our heartbeat. A fan wrote, "He made me fall in love with music." Clem's rhythm wasn't just sound, it was soul. He taught us that true legends don't seek the spotlight, they create it. Comment below with your favorite Clem moment. Like this video to keep his beat alive. Clem, thank you for giving time its heartbeat. Number 2. Betty Ford, the First Lady who spoke when others stayed silent. Hollywood bows its head in reverence. But today, it's not a starlet or leading man we remember. It's a woman who changed the White House forever, and in doing so, helped change the world. Betty Ford, the boldest voice to ever grace the East Wing, has passed into history. A First Lady who shattered silence, embraced truth, and led not by title, but by heart. If Betty Ford ever inspired your mother, your sister, your recovery, or your courage, please give this video a like to honor her legacy. Born Elizabeth Ann Bloomer on April 8, 1918 in Chicago and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Betty's beginnings weren't defined by politics or privilege, but by music, dance, and resilience. Trained under modern dance pioneer Martha Graham, she once graced Carnegie Hall with movement, not speeches. But life had other plans. In 1948, she married Gerald Ford, a young congressman with his eyes on Washington. What followed was a partnership that spanned nearly 6 decades and transformed the meaning of what a political wife, and later a First Lady, could be. As Second Lady, she was candid, stylish, and refreshingly unguarded. But it was in August 1974, when the Watergate scandal forced Richard Nixon's resignation, that Betty Ford stepped into the national spotlight as First Lady of the United States. And she didn't blank. From the very beginning, she broke protocol. Days after becoming First Lady, she publicly supported Roe v. Wade. Weeks later, she shocked the press by admitting her breast cancer diagnosis and mastectomy, giving millions of women the courage to get screened. And she kept going. She fought for the Equal Rights Amendment when others remained silent. She spoke openly about marijuana, premarital sex, and women's pay, all in a time when First Ladies were expected to smile and stay silent. But Betty wasn't built for silence. Behind the scenes, she battled her own demons, addiction to alcohol and prescription drugs. And in perhaps her most courageous act, she spoke publicly about it. She didn't hide in shame. She built a haven. In 1982, she founded the Betty Ford Center, a revolutionary institution that treated addiction not as a moral failing, but as a disease with dignity. For survivors, for families, for everyone. Betty Ford wasn't just America's First Lady. She was a mother figure to millions, a warrior for women, a trailblazer for transparency. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the Congressional Gold Medal, but perhaps her greatest legacy is the honesty she gave the world, in sickness and in strength. Betty Ford died on July 8, 2011, at the age of 93. But her courage lives on. If Betty's voice ever echoed in your life, share her memory in the comments. Subscribe to honor more legacies that shaped the world. And most importantly, Never be afraid to speak your truth. Rest well, First Lady. You gave us more than a legacy. You gave us permission to be real. Number 1. Tony Sirico, the real-life tough guy who found redemption on screen. And for today's final tribute, we remember a man who lived every inch of the roles he played. Tony Sirico, the unforgettable Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. If Tony ever made you laugh, gave you chills, or reminded you of someone you knew, give this video a like in his honor. Born July 29, 1942, in Brooklyn, Sirico's life began on the rougher side of the tracks. Arrested 28 times and imprisoned in Sing Sing, his early years read like a crime novel. But after serving time, Tony made a choice that changed everything. He became an actor. His gangster roles in Goodfellas, Bullets Over Broadway, and especially The Sopranos made him iconic. As Paulie Walnuts, he was terrifying, hilarious, loyal, and unpredictable. And much of it came from Tony's real-life rhythm and grit. But off-screen, he was deeply loyal, spiritual, and charitable, raising money for children's hospitals, visiting troops, and caring for his mother until her passing. He once said, "I've done 45 movies, 40 gangsters, and 5 crooked cops. But his greatest role was proving that redemption is real." Tony Sirico passed away on July 8, 2022, at age 79 after a battle with dementia. If his story ever moved you, leave a comment. Hit like to honor a man who turned a criminal past into an unforgettable legacy. And subscribe as we continue remembering those who shaped our world, one life at a time. Rest easy, Tony. You were the real deal. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share your memories or favorite moments about these icons in the comments below. And if this tribute touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe for more emotional stories that celebrate the lives of those who will never be forgotten.